Welcome back, folks. We've got a special treat today. We're continuing with the Challenger updates. I've got behind me the suspension components from the front end, the control arms, and what we're going to be doing is trying to get all of the pieces off that we're going to rebush. Lower ball joints, where the torsion bars go in, things like that. And if we're lucky, my brother and my dad are supposed to stop by in a little bit this afternoon, and we'll get a shot of the Malibu frame that's fresh out of the powder coaters. So let's get to it. First thing we're going to do is stamp these parts left and right so that they don't get mixed up. These all came off the left side and we're in a box labeled left, but before I get them all out, let's find ourselves an L. And I'm going to find a spot try and get this guy. This guy's coming off. Stamp these the same. Okay, there, we're back at it. Sorry for the interruption. We actually did have a visit from my brother and my dad, so we got a chance to look at the progress on the frame from the 65 Malibu. I'm sure you check out that other video. I've posted it. It's already up. I don't know what they've got going on there. I guess that's all just grease and road tar. Looks like some Oklahoma red dirt. Chip away at it. I can't believe we're working on Challenger parts. 70 Challenger parts. I'll try to, if I can find this good picture. A lot of people may laugh and say, well, Roger, why are you putting this big puller on this little joint here? Why don't you just pop it with a hammer? It'll jump right out of there. Yeah, I'll show you what I did. I previously had tried to take this side apart and hit myself pretty good trying. So there's just a slip. It's not like it's some undoable thing, but being as how we have a history, I'm going to take a different approach this time. Boy. Heat it up. it goes. But don't go too crazy with it. A lot of times I don't go just glowing red hot on the first heat. And then a lot of times that bites me in the ass because I dilly-dallied around on it and I can't apply enough quick heat. So, pick and choose. This time we won. There, burn my shiny little puller. Nice. So we're taking these bushings out. It looks like realistically you can just kind of use a flat bladed screwdriver, or more properly a pry bar. And just kind of get them apart like that. Here you go. Now make sure you guys are drinking lots of water. Stay hydrated. There you go. We've got those out. We'll come back for that in a second. Well, let's go push it out of there. Next, we're taking this lower ball joint off again. Sorry about the compressor noise. Maybe I ought to stop and pause and show an explanation of what a puller does. So, this is what we're taking out of here. Much like everything else in a machine shop, tapers are what holds it all together. These joints, although they're greasy right now because they had grease all over them and I've been manhandling them, basically just wedge into an opposing taper, and if they're clean and dry and everything mates up and they're all the same angles, when you cram that into the other side, it will lock. A lot of the stuff in a machine shop operates, in fact, no, every single thing in the machine shop operates based on keeping a taper to lock the tools or spindles or chucks or whatever it is you're turning or holding in place, and concentric on the axis that you're turning or working on. So in steering components in the front end of a car, you see the same thing. Notice I said clean and dry. On the machine shop stuff, if you got oil all over your chucks or your collets or whatever it is you're trying to put together, they literally just bounce out and they won't hold. And pretty much the same thing here. Not quite as finicky in the cast iron automotive parts world, but you still want to make sure that, in my opinion, these joints are clean and dry when they go together. And don't just cob down on them with an impact wrench. Cinch them down, get the cotter key to line up, torque them to, you know, something like this, probably 75 foot-pounds or so maybe. Put the cotter pin in it, you're good. The other side, I've got it on video too. I'll probably get both of them in the shot. It was extremely tight. Let's hope this side isn't that tight. And what the puller is doing is holding here at the bottom and pushing on the top of that shaft to push it out of its opposing taper. I like to put a little lubricant on my pullers where the threads are, where the pivoting action, the swivel happens. Keeps them in good working order, helps them exert stronger, more even force, more reliably for more years. I don't use impact wrenches on my stuff. I'm just that guy. Trying to do this where you guys can get a good shot of it, and it's a little bit more than tricky. What I do there is I get it about as strong as or about as tight as I can get it by hand. And then if you get it up in the air and give it a little wrap here on the screw, sometimes that's enough to go ahead and pop it loose. But be careful, it's going to fly apart if it comes loose. In our case, that was not enough to pop it loose. We're going to tighten again. Heat it up. Sometimes during the process of heating, it'll go on ahead and jump loose, so be prepared for that. Have your fire extinguisher handy, keep your glasses on, all that good stuff. Nobody wants to burn this place down. Use shaded glasses. Believe it or not, a cutting torch puts off an enormous amount of light that is damaging to your eyes. Now another quick wrap with the hammer, and it jumps loose. We gotta get the door open now, it's smoky in here. It's hard to explain metalworking and heat and principles of what I'm doing here, but you want to get that torch down there on that joint quick. Get about into the preheat tips, the little bright blue flames that are near the nozzle, and just go around that thing and preheat and dump as much heat as you can into here, because what you don't want to do is heat soak the whole part. You're trying to expand this faster than that. If you let it sit there with the torch, you know, this far away, and just casually heat up the whole thing, well, you're heating that part as much as you're heating that part, and it's never going to actually do you any good. You're just wasting torch gas and your time. So if this doesn't actually happen quick like I just did it, a lot of the times both parts are going to heat soak together, and it may not matter how much more heat you poke in there or how much tighter you get that screw or what you do. If you've done this like I did there, tighten the screw, give it a wrap with a hammer. Well, it's too tight for just a wrap with a hammer and a puller. Put the heat on it, give it a wrap with a hammer. If it doesn't get it right then, my suggestion, I've set off the smoke alarm, but that'll go off. My suggestion is that you walk away, come back when it's not red hot, smoking hot like that, put a little penetrating oil on it, and go away for another few hours until it's cool to the touch, and start over. Now we're doing the other one of these guys, the lower control arm. Getting these bushings and plates out of here. Still stuck. Go. I'm hoping that we'll get all new of these pieces. Like any civilized bushing and body part kit would come with new ones. But just in case we don't, I'm going to keep all these old ones. I recommend you do the same. If you're not sure you've got a new one, keep the old one. There ain't no rubber left there. I'll just bag them all up. I'm not going to clean them or waste any time on them. Like I said, most of the time you're going to get brand new ones. Well, that's that. Now it looks like all I gotta do is get these off, get these rubbers off. We'll have this thing stripped down. Okay, now what we're gonna do to take the ball joints out here is use our handy 3-in-1 tool. Basically it's a big pissed off C-clamp. And we're gonna try, I think how it's gonna work is that this is gonna push through out this way. So we're going to put this cup on so it can fall in there, but we may run out of room if it hits this zerk. I'm going to go ahead and take them out of there. Only takes a second. Do it now. Take a lot longer to pull old big C-clamp off later. And then if I remember right, you'll have to forgive me if I get this wrong on the first go around here. It's been a minute. Goes like that. Like that. We're going to put this in the vise so it's a little easier to turn on. If you didn't know it, they're actually perfectly spaced for a 4-inch vise. Now, something moved, and it got a lot easier. And that's what you want to see. Something akin to that. Not bad for a ball joint that's been together about twice as long as I've been alive. Whoa, man, I'm out here in my fancy steel toes. I'm glad that didn't get down to them. We've got this thing down to the stripped form. If you didn't know it, that's where you're supposed to grease these things so that they last forever. Modern ones, a lot of the time, don't even come with a grease zerk, because there ain't nobody out there that knows what to do with it. And even the guys that will, you know, few and far between, know what to do with it, aren't going to do it. All right. right, we'll do the same thing. We'll just get it loaded up as tight as you can get it by hand. Give it a quick wrap with a hammer. Should get things moving. You'll notice when you come back, it wasn't near as tight. Oh, there she goes. Now puller's broke it loose. You just keep twisting. Pretty soon, just gonna shove it right off in there. That should be it. There's the other old ball joint. Now that we've got these off, we'll put them in the pile of parts to be sandblasted. Not that we haven't been doing any of that lately. If you've been checking our other videos out, I hope you have. We've got the Malibu frame sandblasted, and I've got a video up on that. Powder coating's all done and it's back together. It's beautiful. So I gotta get to cleaning all this mess up. I hope you guys are out there working on your projects, doing what you're trying to do, and get your head around how to make stuff happen at your shop. Leave us a comment below with what you're working on. I would love to hear about it. And have the best day of your life today. Thanks.